Well, here we are. Hello, everybody. Somehow, I don't know how it's even possible, but every time I do these videos these days, the market pumps. So, congratulations to all the hodlers out there. Bitcoin is just shooting up literally hundreds of dollars every second now at this stage. We're about to hit 33,500, which is nice. Anyway, I want to talk about some of the news, and there's so much goodness today coming from everywhere. So, hope everybody's doing good. A thumbs up if the audio is okay. You made it. We got Oxford Performance Centre. Maybe Oxford, England in the house. No sound. Uh-oh. You guys hear me okay? Yeah, we can hear you. Somebody can't. So turn up your volume. So I want to make sure everybody is good. So as usual, a lot of news to cover today. Crazy, crazy Friday as always. And I'm not going to waste any time. So here we go. Let's take it from the top and figure out exactly what's going on. So as you know, math, money, freedom is what this channel is all about. And disclaimer, none of this is investment advice. But there's so much fantastic news out there today. And I'll help to try and piece it all together for you in this beautiful big sausage. So here we go. First of all, a lot of concern from our people in the European Union out there. They were concerned about this news that popped up. It was basically the EU wants to tighten rules around crypto exchanges and a whole bunch of stuff around, I think I'm going to sneeze, basically locking down people's wallets. So the good news about this so far is it's not going to be enforced until 2024 at the earliest. So relax, everybody. Second of all, the European Union is all very confused. You've got different countries trying to lock down crypto. You've got the central banks that are feeling very threatened. You've got the traditional banks that are feeling very threatened. And everybody's trying to put crypto in a box so they can just kill it. But anyway, that's all good. It's all good for the crypto space. Now, one of the excuses that they feel they're putting this new rule in place for us to fight money laundering. But you got to remember, why don't they focus on fighting things like human trafficking? And it's all done with cash, all under table cash. Why the hell are they going after freaking wallets? Anyway, the second thing about this, it will increase controls on cryptocurrency transfers. Contrary to yesterday's headlines, basically the EU is not trying to ban anonymous crypto wallets. However, crypto exchanges will have to up their game when it comes to KYC rules. And that's the big takeaway here. Now, if you do have crypto on a cold wallet, imagine you have got 100 Bitcoin from 8 years ago. Don't worry, you're not in violation of any European laws and you are good to go. So this doesn't impact that at all. So good news there. The man can't even control a sneeze. That kind of self-control doesn't get FOMO impressive. Yeah, well, I can't sneeze. I've never sneezed live on YouTube, so I don't want to start any bad repetition. Thank you so much. Again, all donations go to the animals. We'll be sponsoring some more this weekend. So speaking of sneeze, let's talk short squeeze. Thank you for that little lead in there. So we are seeing this. In fact, I wrote this about 2 or 3 hours ago about a short squeeze. We're already seeing a short squeeze in play. So here we have a whole bunch of upside momentum happening with Bitcoin. It's been a rough 8 weeks. Thank you everybody for being patient. But we're beginning to see signs now. We're moving back towards 40K pretty quickly. Now, a quick update for those of you who don't know what a short squeeze is. This is a rapid covering. So you have a lot of people in the market that are short Bitcoin and they are in positions hoping the price will go down. Once the price starts to go up, especially when it goes up fast, they need to scramble and they need to cover their shorts, and that creates a lot of upwards buying pressure on Bitcoin, and it could also happen with stocks and other assets. So the good news is a lot of people are seeing us now getting above the 50-day moving average, which is about 34,000. And giving the oversold conditions that I've been talking about for many, many weeks now, we are seeing many bullish signs. So much good news all over the place, and I'll talk about some of that today as well. So that's the short squeeze, not a sneeze news. So, and then we have Amazon and crypto. You know, we've heard a lot of rumors about Apple and crypto. Apple are hiring teams to be able to find ways to integrate crypto into their payments. But here, this is super interesting. Amazon are trying to hire a new blockchain and digital currency lead that'll own the vision and strategy for Amazon's digital currency. And they believe the future of course, payments and everything else will be built on crypto. So Amazon want to be in a position to be able to accept crypto for all the stuff that they sell, and maybe, hopefully, put on their balance sheet soon as well. So that is a huge news. And it's just the dominoes are falling slowly but surely, which is great for all of us here. Now, 2 quick questions just came in. And because this money goes to charity, I will address them. So hold on one second. X-Raven, I think it is. People treat MicroStrategy stock as a pseudo BTC ETF now. What do you think will happen to MicroStrategy stock when the actual BTC ETF gets approved? I think it'll put less upwards buying pressure on MicroStrategy. It'll take away some of the premium that you pay to use MicroStrategy as somewhat of an ETF, quasi ETF. Right now, I'm actually going to talk about how people are trying to get proxies on their balance sheets. Now, you have to remember as well, sometimes certain types of funds and investors only have access to certain types of assets. And sometimes they may not be ETFs, but they can buy stocks and vice versa. So we'll see what happens there. But I think either way, the premium that we're paying now for MicroStrategy will come down if a BTC ETF does come. But I don't expect it until November, December, or early 2022. So we have some time. Now, if the Bitcoin ETF does get approved, we're going to see a Bitcoin price way north of 100,000 if it happens this year. So that's the good news. So, and I'll talk more about that as well in a minute. And Tim Kutch, hey James, 20K to invest. Should I put it all in Bitcoin? These are what I call FOMO times. DCA into Bitcoin or bear market. I can't give you investment advice, but I can tell you what I told somebody to do yesterday. And basically I said, you could DCA in, but Bitcoin will not be around 30,000, the low 30,000s for a long time. Therefore, just sometimes take a lump sum or at least 50% and get in now. I mean, we're just shooting up really fast. So I don't want to instill any excitement or drama, but the point is Bitcoin can move really fast. We're at that 50-day moving average right now. We just hit 33,400, and we'll see. So Again, thank you for your question, but just watch it carefully and think about what's happening. Who knows? It could spike up. Also, Sundays tend to be very weak for Bitcoin, so that could bring about a good buying opportunity as well. So just watch it around the clock. So let's jump further ahead. That was the Amazon news, which is fantastic. Now, this is related to the previous question I got from X-Ray Vision. This is regarding New Jersey pensions buying mining stocks. They went in and bought a whole bunch of Riot Blockchain and Marathon Digital Holdings. And this is the first time this ever happened in New Jersey. So the key message here, everybody, is you've got the most conservative groups other than insurance companies. They are putting crypto proxies on their balance sheets. And one of the riskiest ones, which is crypto miners. So think about that. Everybody's desperate to get a piece of this. Pension funds are desperate to hedge all of their assets against inflation. And now they're buying Bitcoin mining stocks. It's quite incredible. So again, don't worry. I don't know why they didn't buy MicroStrategy instead. That would have been a better play. But they decided to go with mining stocks. So consider that another feather in the cap. Until an ETF is approved, more pension funds are going to pile in. And remember, once the pension funds start coming in, that means everybody's coming in. And I always spoke about July and the wall of money and everything else, and it's hitting right on time, right on cue. It takes these firms, these pension funds, for example, and the JP Morgans and the Goldman Sachs and the Morgan Stanleys, it takes them 3 or 4 months, sometimes even 6 months, before they can get the paperwork in order, before they can even pull the trigger on doing these types of things. So just remember, they've been thinking about this for a long time. And we're going to see big FOMO times. There's tons of great information coming from all over the world. Speaking of all over the world, here we have the Ukraine. Ukraine unveils a roadmap to integrate cryptocurrencies by 2024. And in that roadmap, if you dig into it, what's really interesting, the people that authored this, they want half of all Ukrainians to be using digital currencies by 2024. Now, they're not saying they're building their own CBDC, but they want to use things like Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum and others. And also the Ukraine is mining a lot of Bitcoin today. So again, more goodness, more dominoes falling, usual thing. So let's talk a little bit about a little Solana news, which is good. Solana just launched their new staking pools, and this will help holders get some more rewards. Now, anybody who holds Solana can stake their tokens at any time, of course, like with anything else. And to stake tokens, you do have to use a special wallet. Not all wallets are supported. I think it's called Solflare or something like that. So that will have to be used. And I have not calculated the actual rate yet, as the formula is a tad complex, but stay tuned for that, and we'll do something about Solana staking. So that's great news. As you guys know, I'm very bullish on Solana. And it was very weak a week ago, so it was a good time to buy. Now, speaking of more dominoes falling, JP Morgan, this guy Jamie Dimon was anti-Bitcoin for the longest time, but secretly they've been buying on the side in quiet. So the point here is, now they eventually folded, and you guys all heard this news, and they said, well, our clients, and their clients are people with $50 million, $100 million, $1 billion in assets. They said they want us to invest into this category, into this asset class, because now everybody is fearful of inflation and they know it eats away at their wealth. So JP Morgan waited 4 years to post this link. Can you imagine? Patience is a virtue. So he is, as they say, eating crow. Good job, JP Morgan. Again, well, I'm not going to say anything. And even that Guggenheim, the Scott Minerd guy, he's posting, he's talking to the press every single day saying, Bitcoin's going to crash, Bitcoin's going to crash, Bitcoin's going to crash, it's going to retrace 85%. He's going to wait for it to be $10,000 and then buy. It's like he's just, anyway, I'm glad you all know where the truth lies. So speaking of cool people, unlike Jamie Dimon, Raoul Pal is very big into what he believes will be a whole new space. Now, he is accumulating a new asset beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. He's a huge Ethereum bull. But the cool thing here is Raoul Pal came out yesterday and he spoke about the importance of social and communities and community tokens. And this is kind of a play related to that. So Socius is the fan token of what they call Chiliz. And Raoul Pal argues that the blockchain will become much more digitally focused around ecosystem of virtual communities in the future. And that's his big play. What took me aback yesterday and stunned me entirely was the fact that he believes this whole social virtual community world will be bigger than DeFi, which is at least $400 trillion worth. I don't see that yet, but I'm trying to wrap my head around that. So we're working on some numbers and we'll come out next week with some social plays and try to figure out exactly what Raoul sees, because if he's that bullish, there must be something there. So we will dig more into that as well. And so in related to Raoul Pal, he did another thing today with a VC fund, and he spoke to a fellow called George McDonough, and he had something very interesting to say I want to share with you all. So he basically said the key takeaway, they spoke for hours or whatever, but the key takeaway is Bitcoin to Ethereum is the same as Ethereum is to Polkadot. And this is what they call the central nexus, where everything is going to want to connect to. So I own Polkadot, I own Ethereum, I own Bitcoin, very bullish on them all. So it's good that Polkadot had some good news, as well as Solana. So we're seeing a lot of goodness coming out there. And Chiliz we'll look into as well. Now, I just want to warn people as well. A big part of this channel is to avoid risk at all costs. I still know there are people out there that hold BSV, which is Bitcoin Strategic Vision, which is run by a guy who says he is Satoshi Nakamoto. His name is Craig Wright. I love Australia and I love Australians, but this guy is a complete scammer. He has long claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto, as I said. Now, he could prove to anybody in a heartbeat, if he wanted, that he was, by unlocking or moving the 1.04 million Bitcoin that Satoshi has. But he can't, because he's a scammer. So it was almost a little bit of schadenfreude to see the fact that his BSV coin, fake imitation of Bitcoin, was actually hacked. Not once, but it was hacked, I think, on June 24th and 1st of July and 6th of July and 9th of July. And but the key thing, and the reason I have this chart up here is, everybody, BSV is not Bitcoin. Don't think for a second you own Bitcoin if you own BSV. That's the key message. If you look at the return here on this chart, you'll see over the past 22 months or something, Bitcoin's up over 700%, and BSV is not. Now, the other one, BCH, which is Bitcoin Cash, has fared slightly better. But again, I think Bitcoin Cash is up about 100% and Bitcoin's up 700%. So these are not the same things, okay? So be careful, everybody. If you own it, move on. Now, we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about money and money printing and how important this is to me. As you know, macro is a big part of this game. And a big thank you to Sanjay as well for sharing this article with me. This is entitled The Fed Put. And what's interesting about this, and people are talking about, increasing in taxes and the stock market, and stock market's going to crash and everything else. But how is that related to money printing? So first of all, if you look at this chart, you'll see the top 5% of all Americans, probably similar in other parts of the world, pay 60% of all taxes. Okay, when you look at the top 1%, they pay a lot less. But anyway, that's the point, is the top 5% pay 60%. But the key takeaway here is the top 5% don't earn money from things like salaries, working for a paycheck, being employees somewhere. They make the majority of their money from investable assets, like stock market equities. So the key thing here, the correlation, right, is people argue that since these people don't make their income through wages, they make all of their income through stock-based compensation. If you look at, say, a technology company, you will have CEOs earning $1 per year, but the rest is millions and millions of shares. And that's where the money is made. Now, if the Fed refuses to stop printing money, which will stop keeping the stock market afloat and going up, that means they'll have a huge hit to their tax revenue going forward. So the argument here is, if money printing stops, stock market crashes, the US will go bankrupt. So that's I thought that was kind of a very interesting story to tell. And it's another angle to see how the money printing can't stop. The Fed and the central banks all around the world have painted themselves into a box. Now, related to that, here's some more charts that I found very, very interesting as well. You will see here, $4.72 trillion of money was created out of thin air last year. So people say sometimes channel your inner George Soros. Observe, don't predict. So the data is very clear as to what's going on here. And the other countries that were printing, we know about the US money printing, but China is printing a truckload, 2.7 trillion. Europe, 1.2 trillion, plus another 2.4 trillion a few months ago. I mean, the money printing is out of control, and it's going like that. So it's not just the US. Now, I think it was yesterday or the day before, some people said, can you dig more into some of the money printing around the world? Well, here it is. I also have some other Bank of England numbers that I can pop up, and the numbers there are also staggering. Same with New Zealand. Same with Australia. It is insane. So the point is, the investment thesis, if your investment thesis is in things like really solid hedges, whether that be Bitcoin or other cryptos or equities, or real property that's going up 15 to 25% per year, based on your fear that inflation is here and you're going to lose money by holding cash, well, keep on doing what you're doing because the future is very bright. Keep on accumulating those hard assets, and of course, Bitcoin is the hardest asset. So just want to share that with you. Speaking of China, printing a ton of money as well, there's still a lot of fear, a lot of questions going around, exactly what's going on. So this is very interesting from Wedbush, who is a top-notch analyst group, by the way. They believe that NASDAQ could rise 10% as US investors flee Chinese tech companies. And there's a couple of things they mentioned. The short notes are, the increased scrutiny and regulatory scrutiny on things like Didi and Baidu and Baba, etc. It's a big black eye for the Chinese tech sector. The Chinese tech sector gets a lot of money from American investors. And if US investors rotate out of the Chinese stocks into the NASDAQ stocks, it could be a huge boon forward for us. Now, in full disclosure, I have a small position in Baba. I have a bigger position in Baidu. I haven't sold yet. They were very, very weak today. In fact, I put in an order to try to buy a little bit more Baba because I think it's very strong at $200. Not investment advice, but we'll see where this goes. But I just want to share that research with you as well. Sometimes I can be very contrarian, and if I see people running for the door, I run in. And it's proven to work very well for me over my life. So speaking of working well, Tesla, I am a big Tesla bull. I know a lot of people think Elon Musk is crazy, etc. But I want to talk about a couple of things and why I'm so bullish on Tesla. And people always ask, well, they seem very expensive compared to Ford and GM. But they're not. They are not that type of phone company. First of all, from a macro perspective, Biden has made a pledge to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 50% over the next 10 years. And European countries are doing even more with the Paris Climate Accord and everything else. So that's good for EVs. But there's more. So apparently, Joe Biden is going to put in some new infrastructure to give more tax credits and rebates for people that buy electric vehicles. And this is a huge bill worth about $3.5 trillion, part of the infrastructure bill. And this could include a $7,500 EV credit for anybody that manufactures electric cars. And this could launch in August. Can you imagine? First of all, Tesla can't even make cars fast enough. But imagine a $7,500 credit. I'm gonna wait. I was actually going to buy another one, but I'm going to hold off for now and wait and see what happens, because that would be huge. Now, in crazy news as well, just crunching a little bit of numbers, if Goldman Sachs came out and basically said that Tesla is going to open up its 25,000 superchargers around the world to other EVs, and this could add $25 billion in incremental revenue to Tesla. $25 billion incremental revenue for doing nothing. Now, I'm not even talking about the FSD, that's $10,000 a vehicle, pure margin, the storage panels, everything else that they do, etc. Robo-taxis coming in 1 or 2 years, it's crazy. But even if you assume a tiny gross margin of like 20% on this revenue, that's $4 per share in incremental earnings per share. Now, the current earnings per share for Tesla, I think, is $1. And the PE ratio is $644, which people think is insane. But if you look at their revenue streams, and the reason I'm trying to justify here why Tesla, I believe, is still cheap, is adding that supercharger capability will add $4 per share on top of the dollar per share they already make. That'd be $5 per share. You multiply that by a PE of 644, you get a stock price of about $3,200. And it's selling now for under $650. So that's a lot of upside. And again, I've put many Tesla valuation models together. I'm going to do a new one coming up soon with some of this updated information, as well as robotaxis, their energy business, and everything else. And we'll see where it goes. But just imagine, they start opening up things like their FSD technology and their superchargers and everything else. They can just sit back and relax and just collect money from other EVs. And that is huge. So with that, everybody, Q&A. So big thank you for being here. I'm going to switch cameras, open up the questions. And before I do that, oh my God. So in the time I've been talking here, Bitcoin has shot up some more. And Ethereum has blasted through 2100. Bitcoin is 33.6. So that's good news. And thank you everybody for being patient with Bitcoin and the market and everything else. So let me see. I've got a question from IROC007 and James Bond. Hey, love how you discuss tokenomics. Very eye-opening. What are your thoughts on Litecoin and what is the best cold storage wallet to go? So first of all, I use Trezor. I don't use Ledger because they were hacked in the past. Not the USB key, but the corporation. So they lost everybody's addresses, so I just don't trust them. So I use Trezor. Second of all, regarding Litecoin, I would avoid it altogether. Do not touch it. I think there are way safer, better, more upside, faster horse cryptos out there than Litecoin. So just be careful of that one. And I hope I didn't upset anybody by saying that. Sometimes when I give my honest opinion, people don't like that. And Neon Visual, what would happen to crypto if failed Fiat Nation sales cut off internet access to the rest of the world? Failed Fiat Nation states. It's missing a T. Cut off internet access to the rest of the world. Who cares? So basically, Bitcoin technically, even if this would happen with a nation state, if they did shut down the internet, then they become like a North Korea. Who really wants to become like a North Korea? That's point number one. Second point, even if you do cut the internet off within a state, it doesn't impact Bitcoin at all. It can still continue to run because it's so beautifully decentralized. So not concerned with that at all. And Bitcoin is like this cockroach that you just can't kill. And the more you try to kill it, the stronger it gets. So it's just fantastic all around. Lyndon Bradshaw. We're over 35.5 and the 21 EMA. Do you anticipate another capitulation down, or you think this could be a spark? So everything I'm looking at, first of all, I was surprised Bitcoin was so weak for so long, like down for nearly 8 weeks. And I keep talking about the same thing. The money flow is ridiculous. It hasn't even just begun to come in. And the people that were manipulating Bitcoin down for the longest time have run out of their own powder. The retail investors are smart. They are now driving this bull market. Everybody's trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as they can and become a whole coiner. So I think right now, the way I think about it is first of all, who's selling? Who in their right mind would sell at 33,000 when it was at 64,000 on April 14th? And it's going back there. Look at the money. Look at the pension funds in New Jersey I just mentioned. Look at the JP Morgans. ETFs are coming. Everybody's buying proxies. Everybody's just trying to get a piece of Bitcoin. Look at what's happening in the Ukraine. Just a few select stories from today. Look at Amazon jumping into the crypto game. Everybody knows it's here to stay. And then you got the central banks panicking. And that's all positive. It's all positiveness for the whole space. So not worried. I think, as I said earlier, I think I see us going to 40,000 pretty quickly. There could be a dip, if there is some gray swan type of event or news or some bad pandemic news or a big stock market crash. Yeah, that could bring down the market. But I think, as I always said for the last week or two, the odds are much higher of us going up, whether it's, I was saying 85% and 90%, 95% sure we're going up rather than down when we're at 30K, 31K. Eric Edwards, do you trust Celsius? And do you plan to use it in the future? And if not, why? Great question. Of all the lending platforms, Celsius I trust the most. I had an hour-long conversation, eye-to-eye, man-to-man with Alex Mashinsky, and I trust him. I really do. It's rare you can trust anybody nowadays, but he seems to have a good heart. He structured a very proper business. A lot of the companies he has started, 8 companies in his life, they all have the mission of giving back, whether it's internet access in the subway in New York City or other places. So from that perspective, I have trust. Now, that doesn't mean you put all your eggs in the Celsius basket. So imagine you had 10 Bitcoin. I'd put 1 there. Because the more Bitcoin you deposit anyway, the lower your returns. But yeah, if you need a little bit of extra income, drop it in. But even just looking at the returns for Bitcoin today, I mean, it's up, what, $1,500, $2,000, which is far more than the 6% you can get per year on depositing your crypto. So right now, that's the reason I don't stake and I don't deposit. I do have a Celsius account. I opened it up for some trials. I moved some money there. I have it in USDC, and I'm just testing the waters, because what I do is I dog food everything so I can give you the feedback from to the audience as well. So that's my take on it, and yeah, I wouldn't be concerned. But again, don't put all your eggs there. Think anywhere from 10 to 30% of your crypto holdings, depending on how much you need the money back, so you don't have to sell your time. Like the post I did of Elon Musk, he said money is a system to allocate labor, which I thought was very eloquent. So think about it. A big part of this, the vision for this channel, is to help people buy their time back and become free and make the world a better place. Not work in a stupid job where people are miserable and they hate their bosses and they're made to do stupid things working for silly people. So hopefully nobody is in a crap job like that. But if they are, there's ways of becoming free. And that's what this is about. Random guy. With tons of hodlers, Michael Saylor, and people trying to short Bitcoin, if it stays above 33K, will it increase because people need to cover their shorts? Yes, exactly. Random guy, that is the short squeeze that's happening right now as we speak. So people are covering their shorts and money is piling in. And remember, there are traders as well that sit on the sidelines and they wait for thresholds to be exceeded. Like, they could buy at 30K, but so some investors that wait for Bitcoin to go above 35K before they buy in, or 40K before they buy in as well. So again, a lot of money on the sidelines, very little on exchanges. The supply crunch is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be in the next 3 months or in the next 2 years, but that supply crunch is going to hit. And then we're going to see things go completely crazy. So Yeah, you're seeing exactly that right now. And the Bears have had a very good 2 months. So a little round of applause to the Bears. They did make some very, very good money. All the people that shorted, but I think the gig is up now. I don't see us going back to 30K. YK324. In UK, we can only buy crypto proxies in tax-free accounts. Are the usual proxy companies you've covered still a safe bet, or could there be other players? I'm coming out with a new model, which will look at all the Bitcoin proxies. It'll look at the premium or discount of what they cost today, and how many you need of each to become, say, something like a whole coiner, or to have 10 ETH or whatever else. So yes, they are still a safe bet. I think MicroStrategy is still a safe bet. Let me check the MicroStrategy price right now, actually. I see what it was trading at today. I was super busy the latter part of the day, and so many cool stocks are on fire. So MicroStrategy, I've always had this weird number 540 in my head. It's at 539.71. So MicroStrategy anywhere at 520, 530 is a good buy. And what's happening now, the really frustrating thing about the market is crypto runs 24/7. We have a huge bounce in the Bitcoin price, and we won't see the impact of that on MicroStrategy till Monday morning. It's just infuriating. I wish stock markets would trade 24/7, and one day they'll have to keep up, or people won't get into stocks at all. So, great question. But proxies are great, as I mentioned as well. The New Jersey pension buying Marathon and Riot. It's incredible. I don't know why they didn't buy MicroStrategy. That would have been where, if I was advising them and they only had access to certain types of companies, that's where I would have plunked my money, and of course timed it very carefully. So yeah, Bitcoin is on fire. People are happy, people are excited, and everything is going good. It looks like it'll be a fun weekend. Bitcoin just went up another $250 in the last few minutes. So no, it didn't. Now it's down 140. So it's up and down real quick, depending on which chart you look at. So why, this is a question from Vladimir Dinovich, why is the SEC holding up and approving the Bitcoin ETF? So there's a couple of reasons, I believe. One is they are focused on stamping out manipulation of markets in other areas, stock markets, hedge funds, meme stocks, all of those types of games. I think they're doing that first. The SEC team is actually new right now. I'll center myself. So they have a lot of work to do to catch up with what's going on in the marketplace. And the second thing is they're still trying to figure out exactly what's going on. I do think the BNY Mellon work with Grayscale is huge news, and I think that will really accelerate the whole ETF approval, and that will change the game. Once that happens, that will really change the game for this whole space. Mr. Keyframes, thank you so much for your contribution. And Craig Rick, hey James, Kiwi in Perth here. Hello, we have a New Zealander in Australia. Can you look at Theta for us, please? Thanks in advance, mate. Yeah, Theta's on the list. We're trying to... So we listen to the audience, and so far we've analyzed 16 altcoins. Of the 16, 5 were considered not good, and I get a lot of hate when I don't, but I give my honest opinion. So we're going to try to find a way of shortcutting the process, because I don't want to go into long, detailed analysis of things if we know it's going to be bad. So we're going to start with tokenomics first, look at the price and upside and the competition. And Theta is on the list. Theta is on the list. Elrond is on the list. Engine is coming out on Monday. And a few others as well. I can't recollect. So, but we're going to start doing less and less, because we're literally getting to the stage where you have to go dumpster diving to find things. And if there is a number 100 market cap altcoin, odds are it's number 100 for a reason. There's 1 in 100 chance that it's special, but nobody's discovered it yet. So we will keep our eye out and watch things. Again, because Raoul Paul sees things in the whole social community type world, sports, Chiliz, he must be onto something. So definitely, probably because of Raoul Paul, that'll change the list, and we might look at Chiliz late next week as well and see what's going on there, and we'll see. So Henry Bailey, sounds like a very English name. all the questions are popping in all of a sudden. Whoops. Even James, are there any UK crypto lending services you can recommend? Celsius no longer taking UK clients? I think Nexo works in the UK. And if anybody knows of a good UK service, drop it in the link there. There's also a Swiss crypto lending service. I can't remember the name. Just Google Swiss crypto lending. It'll pop right up as number one. Satoshi Nakamoto is in the house. Awesome. Choose the red pill or the blue pill. I don't know what that means. Red pill or blue pill? I think there's something about a movie in that, but I never really understood that red pill or blue pill. And I'm really, 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 really bad at pop culture and stuff like that. So sorry about that, Satoshi. I don't know. Neon Visual, thank you so much for your contribution. And Evan A, heard of KDA, Cadena, believe was created by JP Morgan, has very limited supply and mineable only by specialized ASICs. Tokenomics seems legit. Tokenomics is only 1/10 of the whole situation. You need partnerships, you need use cases, you need a whole bunch. I get approached by people shilling coins every day, and they say, "Oh, we only have 1 million tokens. Look at this; it's brilliant. It's 1/21st of whatever Bitcoin is." So I'll have a look. The fact that it comes from JP Morgan means I don't trust it, Evan, out of the gate. I don't trust anything that comes from big banks. It means it's centralized. So what I love about crypto is decentralization. The more decentralized something is, the more bullish I am on it. I don't want things to be controlled. I want things to run automatically, just like Bitcoin. Please save a beagle. Vincent White, we will look into that. I will find where we can do that if beagles are in danger. I know beagles are very, very intelligent dogs, and they tend to be very spoiled when they're taken care of. Oliver Bailey, have you looked at Luna? Yes, we have. And the decentralized stablecoin UST. So speaking of stablecoins, we're going to look at some of the different stablecoins as well, like Tether and USDC and a few of the others, and see how they stack up to some of the tokens like Cell Token and FTX and some of the other stuff from Gemini and Crypto.com. And we're going to do that as in a quick kind of a study as well. But Luna is on the list, but it's in the next 5 or more. Things are bubbling up all the time. Can your next animal help a koala? Dolly, why not? I think they are only also in Australia, but yeah, we'll check into that. There's great ways of finding charities where we can adopt one, and hopefully we can take care of it for life. Den Y Parcel Ellipsis, I hope I got that right. Opinion for Polygon and Helium for the second leg of the bull run. Where could it go? Thanks for the great content. Helium, don't look at Matic. I was extremely bullish on Matic, and I was a little bit downtrodden in the fact that Matic was very weak during this kind of mini return, but it looks like, and it's still weak as hell. So I'm kind of losing patience and faith a little bit with Matic as to why it is so weak, but I still hold it, and it was extremely bullish, and I don't think it depends on Ethereum to be successful in the future. But Helium we haven't looked at, so thank you for that. And this will be probably my final question before I completely get dehydrated again. This is Johnny Sims. The channel here for some dollars for furry friends. So thank you so much. You're very kind. Let me see. Do things like Tezos getting the F1 partnership make you think about looking into XTZ further? No. And the reason why is when you need to advertise something like that so hard, not being an exchange, but being a coin, that means it's all shill. And my thesis is always good things sell themselves. So, and this is Jesus is God. Do you think the mother of all crashes is going to happen? Or is Burry wrong this time? Again, I made the case. The US Fed cannot let the stock market crash. If they do, the people that make money from the stock market won't be able to pay their taxes, and therefore the US won't be able to pay the interest on their debt. It's all connected. And that's the point I tried to impart with you all here today. Money is going to continue to be printed. It's going to continue to flow into the system, and that will float all boats as we go forward. So that's my theory. David Allen dropped my ICP and Litecoin for Engine. Ouch. Lesson learned. Well done. Good job. It takes a lot of courage to be able to admit fault. And one of the big lessons for everybody here is don't get wedded to a stock. Be very ruthless, because you've got to be. I always tell people, if you get into something and it falls 20%, reassess your investment thesis and make sure it's still there. And if it falls another 20%, question your thesis and get out. So ICP, very sorry about that. There is a class action lawsuit. Hopefully you can get some money back. And good job. Anyway, just, a couple of things. Try focus on the best names, but always have your tap dancing shoes on, because things change week to week in this space, sometimes day to day. Dave Pulitzer, you're always so kind. I appreciate that. And Evan A. KDA process. Faster than Visa, whole world transaction in 1 second. Agree, JP Morgan thieves. Paraphrase, but serious look warranted. We'll have a look. You got my attention now, Evan. KDA, we'll have a quick look. There's so many other platforms now that can handle stuff. 10,000, 50,000 transactions in less than 2 or 3 seconds at full settlement. So the world is getting very quick, for sure. Michael Gilman, let me see. Sometimes the stuff comes in so fast, I missed it, and I can only go back so far in this. Michael Galeman, can you repost that? Because I don't want to miss anybody's question. And I'm sorry if that happens, but I have this on slow mode, but still things are coming in. In honor of my beloved Beagle Sandy. Kurt Miller, sorry about that. Michael, can you retype that super chat question, because I cannot see it. Sadly, it is gone. There's just way, way, way too many in here, and I'll try to find it. Caligula, we need a Patreon Matrix movie night. Is that the one with the pills? Where you can get red pilled. Is red good or bad? StormX, that's a scam. So watch the scammer. Remove that. Where is Michael? I am very, very sad I missed that. What are your thoughts on DeFi and Bitcoin? I think due to with the money coming in from people like Jack Dorsey at Square and others, and some of the stuff done in Taproot to make Bitcoin kind of smart contractable, I think there is a future for DeFi and Bitcoin. And I think people like Jack Dorsey will definitely make it happen. Michael, if you could repost that question, I am looking for you, sir. I don't want to miss anything, and I'm looking desperately. ICP is the anti-crypto. Yeah, there are many things. Again, Stephen Hernandez, thank you so much. This is making me mad. I've got to find Michael's question. Let me see. I can't see Michael's question. Michael Galeman. I can't get to it. It is gone. They only keep so much. Yeah, Steve Hernandez, can you address HBAR, please? I did a detailed analysis of HBAR, and the result you will not like. I do not like HBAR. So every time I say that, though, I get so much hate. I had people coming out of the woodwork, people I haven't spoken to in 20 years, telling me to take down my HBAR video. People telling me I don't know what I'm doing. So obviously HBAR is very political, and but I don't work for anybody, so I say what I want. And it's a free world. Hey James, S Fund is up over 100% in the past few days with a tier-based staking system August 1st. Any thoughts on videos incoming? I've never heard of S Fund, but we can add it to the little list. StormX, no. I heard about it, did a very quick look. It looks like a scam. But sorry about that. Again, Michael Galeman, it's 7:50 p.m. EDT. I see you, Michael. Didn't get your question if you just write it in text. Does anybody know what Michael's question is? Put it at the bottom. I feel bad. I'm desperately looking for it. And I can't find it. Yeah. H-bar, graph, tokenomics, horrible. Yes, Stone 420, thank you for that. I'm not the one that said that. And Ayub Ali, would you be willing to take a look at Happy, Advanced Security Protocol? Solana and Polygon both announced integrating. I have had a deep look at that. But I'm not going to say what I feel here. But yeah, there's too many people coming after me to look at Happy right now, and it's been pushed very hard, and I can't right now. There's just too much pressure. So let me see. Let's see if I can find Michael before I end. I'm raging. I missed his thing. I need to get somebody to make sure I capture all of these questions. Yeah, the Happy token is too small and the performance is too little, and I think the only people that'll make money from it are the 76% of people that have all the inside coins. So the distribution doesn't seem fair to me. And there's a huge vesting happening as well this year. So it all doesn't look good. So we'll see. Okay, guys. Axis Infinity from Shaka Kaka, whatever that is. Yes, I have looked at it. It's super, super interesting from a few perspectives. They got some very interesting ways of leveraging that space. And we're looking more into the whole gaming, social aspect of tokens. But video games are not my forte at all. I've never played them in my life. So where's Michael? Did Michael get his question in? That's why I'm still waiting around, making sure I cover it. And if not, Michael, I promise next time, just message me, leave a comment in the video, and I will answer it in great detail. Okay? Everybody, that's it. It's going to be a wrap for now. I want to thank everybody for being here, and be safe. And before I go, let's see what's happening with Bitcoin. If it's continued up, it's down $87, which is 0.2%. So not too bad. This is DOT or Kusama. Which one has higher growth potential? I think Polkadot, especially at the price now. So Pranjat, good quick question coming in there. But in full disclosure, the investigation we've done into Kusama is nowhere near as detailed as Polkadot. And again, I just think Polkadot has way more future for now. So just my 2 cents. But I know Kusama is also very popular and growing very fast. Cool, everybody. Just want to wish you all a good night. Be safe and talk soon.